And now, my people, it's your guy, Kunle, a.k.a. the Nigerian Englishman.
And KANEBI, a.k.a. Mr. Go Ball, Go Ball, Go Ball.
And welcome to another episode of Round on the Ground. Starting things off with the Premier League. They signed a guy at 18 years old. They sent him on loan for 7 times. They sold him to the German League. He came back to the Premier League to haunt them. Taiwo Awoniyi scoring the winning goal against Liverpool this weekend.
Manchester City back to winning ways. 2 goals from the Viking, Erling Haaland, and of course KDB, a 3-1 win over Brighton at home, and yes, 2 points behind Arsenal.
Let's be honest though, Chelsea and Man U, you never bath. Dead game. It's supposed to be a game where some of the top teams in England go toe to toe. We see 2 goals, 3 goals, a game on its knife edge, but no. The most important part of that game was the final 10 minutes. That's the only thing that we enjoyed. It ended 1-1 with a last-minute equalizer by Casemiro.
The league leaders, Arsenal, they dropped 2 points at St. Mary's. They controlled the first half. The second half, they didn't show up, and it ended 1-1 in that game. And of course, 2 points dropped. Still top of the table, though, for the Gunners.
Bundesliga news, league leaders, they're still at the top of the table, though, but Union Berlin, they lost on the weekend to Bochum 2-1. Bayern Munich, it looks like they're making the run that KANEBI was talking about. They start off slow and they start to make the run. 2-0 win and another goal. Another goal for this Musiala boy here. He don't pop left, right and center. We don't know what his favorite position is, but wherever he plays, he seems to perform really, really well. Borussia Dortmund with a convincing 5-0 win on the weekend with one of our African brothers, Mukoko, scoring in that rout as well. Leipzig, 3-0 down, but they did come back to draw 3-3. And Premier League bound Christopher Nkunku scoring one of the goals in that game.
Of course, we're heading over to League One, where PSG and of course the GOAT scored a goal and assisted Kylian Mbappe. They won 3-0 away to Ajaccio, and it was a very brilliant game for Kylian Mbappe and former Arsenal striker Alexander Lacazette with a 90th winner for Lyon with a 2-1 victory over Montpellier. And of course, Mbappe sits on top of the goal-scoring charts in Ligue 1.
They do not call this boy Lewandowski for no reason. Robert Lewandowski scored again 2 goals on the weekend for Barcelona, number 600 and 601 for club and country, in a convincing win against Athletic Bilbao. We had a 3 assists from Dembele and a goal. It looks like he's rejuvenated after this injury, this new contract. The Barcelona faithful finally seen the best of this kid. Also, Antoine Griezmann going into the World Cup. He seems to be picking up his form with a brace for Atletico Madrid. But in terms of this Atletico Madrid thing, I think as well as they're doing, as well as Simeone's doing, I think it's time he finds a new project. Defending champions Real Madrid, a 3-1 victory, and it looks like the guy that's enjoying his football the most in Europe right now, Valverde or however, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, but he's really come on leaps and bounds over the last 12 months. Wherever you play the kid, he's doing exceptional. Another screamer in a 3-1 victory for Real Madrid.
It was a crazy game between Inter Milan and Fiorentina, a 7-goal thriller with Lautaro Martinez getting the winner, 4-3. Oh my God. The Serie A Scudetto title race is going crazy. Of course, our very own Victor Osimhen with a crazy goal for Napoli, and AC Milan winning 4-1. My guy, I want to ask you a question about Ibrahim Diaz.
Bro, the guy that played ball. 2 goals and an assist. It was like dribbling under, over. He's literally like this tall, but he's so nippy with it, man. He's really come on leaps and bounds this year, and I think he's going to be kind of a secret weapon for Spain in the World Cup.
Yeah. I think he's going to be a very good weapon for Spain, and obviously a Real Madrid reject. He's been finding his feet in Italy, and it can only get better for him.
KANEBI, bro. This Premier League season is, I know the top 6 will figure out itself, but the results are just so unpredictable. I mean, you can get Liverpool beating City the previous week, beating West Ham, and then losing to Nottingham Forest. You can get a team like Leeds push Arsenal all the way, then again lose to Fulham. Like, as in, it's so unpredictable. Why?
You have to look at the money that was spent this year in the Premier League. Everybody has money. Everybody's rich. Everybody's stocking up their team. Everybody's buying the best talent that they can find in Europe at the prices they can afford. And that's what's going on. The Premier League is the new Super League. You can win today, lose tomorrow. You can lose today, win tomorrow. It is crazy. And I love it. I love the entertainment. I love the competition. And it can only get better as the season continues.
For sure. And I mean, with the dominance of Man City over the last maybe 5 years, right? People have started to have a little banter about the Premier League being a farmers' league. But the reason why I can't accept that is because although City have dominated, it's not been an easy domination that they've been doing.
It's not been an easy domination. I mean, they won the league last season by a point. There's a time they won by goal difference. There's a time they've won by 2 points. So what are we talking about here? It might look like a farmers' league, but it's a very competitive league. I mean, last season we had the top 4 decided on the last day. The league decided on the last day, and relegation decided on the last day. So what are we talking about? In other leagues, you have the league decided in March or in January or February. The Premier League is unique. It's special. It is the Super League of Europe.
Real talk.
I love every moment of it.
Bro, I love the way that Aston Villa can get battered 3-0 against Fulham. Gerrard can lose his job. And then a few days later...
Who did they beat yesterday?
Brentford.
Yeah, they beat Brentford. And Brentford are a decent
4-0,
side.
4-0, not an easy victory.
Brentford are a decent side, but that's the Premier League for you. But you have to ask yourself about Aston Villa. Did they do it because Gerrard was gone? Or did they do it to show that, okay, look, we didn't like Gerrard. Gerrard want to prove a point.
What I would say about what it looked like they were playing without a handbrake on the weekend, because I believe Aston Villa have so many attacking options, but they were playing like Stoke of old.
Yeah, he kept Danny Ings on the bench. And Danny Ings is a prolific Premier League goal scorer. I don't know why he kept Danny Ings on the bench. He put too much on Coutinho, and Coutinho didn't really deliver for him. And unfortunately for him, he got the sack. But Aston Villa are in a good place right now. They can kick on from where they continued from the weekend, and let's see how the season goes for them.
Well, that's true. Like, some of the main headlines this weekend have been created were obviously Taiwo Awoniyi coming back to Liverpool, his boyhood club.
I don't know why he did not celebrate that goal. I mean,
I would have.
They loaned you out 7 times. You came back and you scored them. Celebrate.
Well.
Let them regret why they loaned you out. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And also, probably, would you say it's a shock? Yeah, I would actually, because they've been playing so well. Arsenal dropping points against Southampton. Although Southampton are historically kind of their bogey side. Were you expecting Arsenal to drop points this weekend?
I would say it's a disappointing result for Arsenal, but it's not the end of the world. The invisible sides, they drew 11 games. So, Man City too have drawn this season. This is their first draw. They have only drawn 1 game, lost 1 game.
Are you comparing this Arsenal side
I'm not
to the
comparing
Invincibles?
them, but I think if they feel they are title challengers, they should not feel down by it. Because I saw the interview by Ben White at the end of the game. He felt like he lost 8-0. But no, you can't win every time. You're going to definitely drop points at some point in the season. And Southampton, Arsenal haven't won there in 6 years. And for them to get a point, last season they lost that game. They got a point.
So you could say it's still progress.
Yeah, and I saw a little bit of fatigue in the Arsenal team. I think
sure.
the effects of the Europa League is creeping in on them. They need a bigger squad. They need more depth. But Nottingham Forest at home is the next game. That's a game to bounce back on. And they just need to regroup and,
Keep
next time be more clinical.
For sure, and I agree with the tiredness, but I do believe Arsenal were wasteful yesterday more than tired. The likes of Jesus and Saka, who've been on hot form this season, weren't there. But as you said, I think we saw enough yesterday to think this is not a crisis. Arsenal are not going to fall into decline, and it's the perfect game to bounce back with a home game.
Arsenal can win their next 2 games. They could beat Nottingham Forest and Chelsea.
We know this, the Bridge is their second home, as some Arsenal fans were telling me on social media. But to talk about the Bridge, let's finalize this Premier League thing. Like, we had a 1-1 boring draw. Chelsea versus Man United.
It wasn't boring at the end. I think it was a game of 2 teams trying to find who their best 11 is.
True.
Both managers who are new managers, they're still finding who they're just trying to find their feet amongst their team. And the thing about it is that game, for me, I think Man United wanted it more, especially after beating Tottenham. They wanted it more. They played better. They controlled the first half. Tottenham sat back. Chelsea sat back. Chelsea didn't look brave enough for me.
For sure.
They don't have a midfielder that can create.
I think Chelsea right now are suffering from the fact that as good as Graham Potter is, this is not his team. And I believe it's going to take some time. They're going to keep having these terrible performances, but he needs time because
when your most creative player is a fullback, Reece James is 50% of Chelsea's attack. He's been injured. He's injured. If Reece James is out, Chelsea have a problem being creative because he is 50% of the attack.
It's true. It's like the Liverpool thing. Now Trent's not playing well.
Yeah.
They look less potent.
So they need to create a system whereby you don't rely solely on your fullbacks. They rely too much on their fullbacks to create. You're a Chelsea Football Club. You spent £321 million. You should challenge for the title.
For sure, for sure. Our Chelsea fans in the comment sections, let us know, what would you expect after the large amount of money you spent in the summer? What do you expect from Graham Potter? Has he got to get top 4 to keep his job or what? I don't know. I think he deserves time because what he did at Brighton, you can see the boy knows how to play football.
I think this season, you can't blame Potter for anything.
For sure.
This season is all on Todd Bowley because Todd Bowley, he sacked Tuchel, he bought the players, he is practically in control of the team. So nothing is on Potter this season. It's from next season we can fully assess and judge Potter because this year everything is on Todd Bowley.
For sure, but I'm not going to go as far as saying this season is a write-off because at the end of the day, if you are a big club that Chelsea claim they are, they can't have throwaway seasons.
No, Chelsea is still early, and Chelsea is a club that towards the end of the season they can pull a surprise on you. They can win a cup,
For sure.
and they were in 2 finals last year.
So anything can happen, right?
Anything can happen. So
when I said Serie A was back, they laughed at me. And I always have a little emotional connection to Serie A because you know from the young days, sporting Juventus from the young days.
Yeah.
But it's back.
Serie A is back, but the only problem is they don't have the Premier League money.
That is true.
They don't have the Premier League money.
But ever since Juventus dropped off, it allowed all the other teams to get in the mix.
You know what would be great for an Italian team to win the Champions League, but it's going to be a far cry. But to be honest with you, the Italian league is exciting because Juventus are not the force what they used to be.
And it's opened the doors for everyone else, bro.
Yes, because now it's open season.
Yeah.
You have a Milan team that is a young team that won the Scudetto last season. You have a Napoli team that is coming up.
Yeah.
They have been together for a while. They have a good coach. AC Milan is there. Juventus is fighting for top 4.
Roma's
Inter Milan
there
is
with
there.
Jose.
Roma is creeping about. So it's like a top 6. It's like a mini top 6.
For sure.
Like how we have in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's exciting to watch.
It's very exciting, and I'm loving it, and I'm happy that the Serie A is back because I grew up supporting Inter Milan when Ronaldo da Lima played there, and it's great to see.
It's nice to see it return, right? And there's one team that I'm sure, even though I never really supported another team other than Juve in the Serie A, because of what Maradona did for Napoli, I always had an eye on them anyway, because what Maradona achieved there, 2 league titles, a European trophy with such a minnows team at the time was exceptional. And it looks like they're coming back. I mean, they're doing great things in the Champions League. This weekend, they had another test against Jose Mourinho's Roma, and our boy, Victor Osimhen, scored the winning goal. Talk to me about Napoli and Osimhen's form this season.
Napoli, to me right now, they are the most exciting team in Europe. I said this last time on the show, and nobody's going to talk about Napoli because they are not Barcelona, they're not Real Madrid, they are not Man City or Liverpool. But right now, they are a very dangerous team. You know the way Atalanta were knocking teams out, playing teams off the park 2-3 years ago? This is what Napoli is doing right now.
But at a better level.
With when Atalanta had Gasperini. But it's different, like you said, at a better level. And they, I can't pronounce that, their Georgian winger.
Kvaratskhelia or something like that.
Yeah, with him, with Osimhen, with the likes of Lozano, with the likes of Politano, you can see that, look, this team, they like going forward. They like attacking. They like being aggressive.
And they've got the likes of Anguissa, who's more known for his defensive
Anguissa is a different footballer. Anguissa, we used to watch Anguissa in Fulham, and this was a guy who got relegated. He's moved to Napoli, and he's turned into a world beater.
Box to box, scoring goals. He's Napoli's record. Let me tell you their record this season: 11 games, 29 points, 0 losses. I mean, that's impressive.
That's impressive.
Especially in Serie A. And as you said, Kvaratskhelia, 5 goals, 3 assists. Giovanni Simeone, who's definitely different to his father, who was kind of like a bit of a bully and bulldog, whereas he seems to be getting into a lot of attacking positions.
He's a striker.
And he's scoring goals.
He's scoring goals.
In Serie A, 2 goals
he's scoring
in
goals.
Champions League.
I like what's going on in Italian league because it's open now. It's not just for Juventus alone. Juventus right now, they're a team that is rebuilding, they're in transition. In fact, they're looking like they've been left behind.
Very much
with the rest.
Their coach as well.
Yeah. So let's see how it goes this season. But for me, the Serie A win, I'm not going to really I'm not going to say Napoli are favorites to win till I see the latter stages because that's the way the Serie A goes.
But
like last season, the same thing with AC Milan and Inter last season.
I hear you, but there's a common denominator when it comes to Napoli this season. And I don't think this guy's got the respect level yet. I think, you let me know if I'm wrong, this is the season where the whole of Europe's going to stand up for Victor Osimhen. He's definitely raised his game. Not just is he adding goals, he's bringing players into the game. Man.
I agree, but you see the problem with Victor Osimhen is that you're in the era with Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe, who score braces, hat-tricks back to back. That's the standard that is demanded now.
So you don't think maybe we won't hear the best or see the best of him until he enters the Premier League?
No,
Who knows?
he might not be appreciated as much because he's not scoring goals like Haaland or Mbappe. That's the problem.
That's one to talk. Let's see how the season goes with Napoli. Let's see how the season goes with Osimhen, and we'll take it from there.
Africans on fire.
Ooh.
I'm going to start with the luckiest African striker of all time. Choupo-Moting made 2 goals for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. I don't know. This guy is the luckiest African. He just sits on the bench.
I agree.
Gets from Stoke to PSG to Bayern. Living the life. But I hail. Choupo-Moting, I hail.
Now.
I hail.
That's it.
I hail.
He get trophy. His CV's looking sexy
I
right
hail.
about now. Let me not lie to you.
More than Patrick Mboma. I hail.
But also another African on fire who a lot of Super Eagles have kind of casted in the past, but he's really found his position. A manager that believes in him, playing him consistently. Alex Iwobi, the boy they ball, nephew of JJ, but he's doing great things for Everton right now. The boy had 2 assists, and if you saw the 3rd goal for Dwight McNeil, the assist that led to that goal, exceptional stuff. And it's really exciting to watch him flourish in an Everton shirt, which can only be great news for the Super Eagles and really get a chance to show his skills when we next major tournament, which unfortunately is not the World Cup, is going to be the next AFCON. But we move.
Speaking of Super Eagles, our very own number 9, Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen. He made it 2 goals in his last 2 matches for Napoli, scoring an absolute beauty of a goal against Roma. And of course, he has to be there as one of our African players of the week. And Victor Osimhen, more strength to you. Keep it going. Keep it pushing. I know you can be that world-class striker that you have the potential to be.
Also, Ivorian forward Wilfried Kanga scored the winner for Hertha Berlin in a 2-1 victory against Schalke. Great performance overall, looking sharp for that Ivorian striker there.
And our very own again, once more, our Niger boys are popping off.
We start ball.
Paul Onachu, one of my personal favorites, a very good striker, tall, imposing striker. He scored a brace over Royal Antwerp. A big game. That was a big derby in the Belgian league. Genk versus Royal Antwerp. He has 8 goals in the Belgian First Division. He's a prolific goal scorer for me. I think he should have been in the Premier League a long time ago or any major top 5 league in the world. Kudos to Paul Onachu. More grease to your elbow, my boy.
I won't lie to you. This is one week where we had a long list of Africans on fire. These are just the 5 top ones. Africans all over the European leagues are doing incredible things. Vote for any of your 5, and we're going to be announcing the winners in next week's shows. Hashtag ROTG. Oh yeah, now it's been your guy, Kunle, the Nigerian Englishman.
And it's me, KANEBI, Mr. Go Ball, Go Ball, Go Ball, Go Ball.
And that's another episode of Round of the Ground. See you next week. Feel the heat.